Hey guys, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how this Catasetum orchid is doing 1 year after I repotted it. So I put up some footage from January 4th, 2021 when I first repotted this orchid because it started pushing out a new growth. And as you can see here, this orchid had a lot of roots. It had a new growth coming in and it was time to repot it. And I'll link the video down below so you could check it out and learn more about the care for Catasetum orchids. But what I want to do today is show you what happened after I cut off all the roots and put this orchid into a new setup. And I was quite impressed with how it did. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did when I repotted it and show you how it's doing today. So basically what I did was I cut off all of the roots and I was very careful because the new growth that was coming in had some new roots. As you guys know, Catasetum orchids go dormant, so they're supposed to rest a bit, not get any water, and then when they put out a new growth, then it's time to repot it. So this tiny, tiny little growth actually ended up being a monster growth. This was January, so it's not the typical season for a Catasetum to go out of dormancy, but I find that these orchids tend to do pretty much whatever they want. So some of them come out of dormancy smack dab in the middle of winter. So what I did here was I got a 5-inch pot and I got some fresh sphagnum moss, and I also got some slow release fertilizer. So Catasetum orchids, they grow very, very quickly and they're very heavy feeders. So I put some slow release fertilizer, and then when I watered, I used my regular fertilizer. So it got that slow release and 300 parts per million in the spring. Now, these orchids are so vigorous that they don't typically need their old root system. The only exception to that is, I'd say, a very small Catasetum or a Cycnoches orchid, but this Catasetum had a nice big bulb. I knew it was going to be just fine and push out a whole new root system. So I kept that moss nice and fluffy, and I staked it up just to make sure it didn't move too much, and I knew that new roots were going to start coming in. So let's fast forward 6 months later. So this is July 20th of 2021, and this orchid has pushed out a massive new growth. I think a part of that was due to the slow release fertilizer and how heavy I was feeding it and the light it was getting. Now it pushed out an extremely large growth, much larger than last year's growth, and it surprised me with quite a lot of flowers. Now you'll see that there's only 11 flowers here. The year prior, I believe it only had 5. However, when this orchid actually bloomed, it had about 20 different flowers. Now, the reason why you're only seeing 11 here is because when I grew this, the branching spike was resting on the grow shelves and the lights got really hot, and unfortunately it fried the last 9 or so buds, so I had to cut it off. But I'll be much more careful with this next year. Now this orchid is absolutely beautiful. It's a black orchid. However, if you look at it in the light, it's actually a little bit purple or really dark maroon. So it's not truly black, but it can look black more in the darkness. This is a really pretty one. It smells like licorice actually, or like a cologne of like peppery, licoricey type fragrance. It's pretty nice. Now, I put this video up on my Instagram showing what these blooms look like, and I was very happy with how it came out. Now, what I'll say is that that was not the only surprise here. When I saw that that spike came out, I saw that there was also a new growth coming in. So let's fast forward to 1 year later, which is basically today, January 12th. And this orchid is now working on another growth. Now it has not taken a rest period yet. It's been working on this growth for a couple of months now. I'm not sure if it's going to bloom or not, but so far it has not exceeded the larger Catasetum bulb. As you can see, the bulb on the left has completely shedded its leaves. I haven't stopped giving this orchid water just because it keeps pushing out new roots and it keeps growing. And I think once that bulb matures, then I'll be able to cut off the water and let it go dormant. And like I said in the beginning of this video, catasetums tend to do whatever they want. So this came out of dormancy last January, and this year it just continues to grow. It's not going into dormancy at all yet. It'll probably go into dormancy a little bit later. I'll probably let that bulb grow a little bit more. And as you can see, it filled up that 5-inch pot with roots like crazy. So it looks like a bunch of little noodles all over the pot. So if you guys are new to Catasetum orchids, I just want to share, if you have a nice big bulb and you cut the roots off, you'll generally be able to fill up the pot. So that was it. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on how my Monneirara Millennium Magic Witchcraft orchid was doing. If you want more information on the care for this orchid, check out the link down below with the original video where I go through the dormancy period and how to take care of these orchids. Let me know down in the comments below what stage your Catasetum orchid is in. Most should be going dormant right now. I just let this one continue to grow just because it's very vigorous and it seems like it wants to keep going. But remember, anytime you want to trigger dormancy, just make sure you do it gradually. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye, everyone.